See the ballin' on my Jordan. If you think I hit a wall, boy, I'm Tom Holland. All she wanted was a star back when we was starving. Why you think my circle small made me feel enormous? I'm standing 10 toes tall with a blue collar. You know I did it for the dogs, cause they ride wilders. Remember talking to the walls back when they confined us. I never cover up the scars, cause they still remind us. If I'm guilty of the ballin', I'm Mike Jordan. If you think I hit a wall, boy, I'm Tom Holland. All she wanted was a star back when we was starving. Why you think my circle small make me feel enormous? Yeah. Remember walking down the halls with my ring binders. I got a sticker of a foreign and a C-. The sky is filling up with stars, but the dark blind us. Feel like I'm falling on a sword, self-sabotaging. I built my skin up tough as croc skin, there ain't a weak bone. My story written down the stones of the dirty creek song. I think I'm better on my own till I need a family. I never started writing songs just to push a Camry. I don't do this for the Grammys, do it for Grammy. Where I took off on the track, should've popped the Hammy. Got some brothers selling pack, but it's not a fanny. Got them searching for the racks and the nooks and crannies. I just wanna get them back, they don't understand me. Man, I'm in here sitting down, I'm still outstanding. They keep trying to shut us down, but we keep expanding. They wonder how we around, it's just how I planned it. If I'm guilty of the ballin', I'm Mike Jordan. If you think I hit a wall, boy, I'm Tom Holland. All she wanted was a star back when we was starving. Why you think my circle small make me feel enormous? I'm standing 10 toes tall with a blue collar. You know I did it for the dogs, cause they rock wilders. Remember talking to the walls back when they confined us. I never cover up the scars, cause they still remind us. Got me feeling like I'm Tom, I got my Zendaya. They wanna marvel at a star, not a role player. And people always wanna talk when they need a favor. If she needed me at all, you know I'ma save her. I remember when we drove it like we stole it. Back when we would play the demos, had the speakers blowing. It's a 95 Civic, hope we don't explode it. Man, I know we getting close, yeah, you know it. You know it's stuck in traffic, but I got the jams. Throw the powder up, I mean it's getting out of hand. Yeah, I got a cover girl, but this is not no cover band. Yeah, I manifested this when Diddy tried to make a band. Yeah, y'all way too worried about us shaking hands. Yeah, I'm trying to make a brand. Yeah, my partner on the phone, we looking out for babies out here. The weather shady out here, they trying to play me out here. All the bad boy ballin' like McGrady. If I'm guilty of the ballin', I'm Mike Jordan. If you think I hit a wall, boy, I'm Tom Holland. All she wanted was a star back when we was starving. Why you think my circle small make me feel enormous? I'm standing 10 toes tall with a blue collar. You know I did it for the dogs, cause they rock wilders. Remember talking to the walls back when they confined us. I never cover up the scars, cause they still remind us.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Monday Night Zed with your boy Zook, normally joined by Keith, but tonight I'm lucky enough to be joined by my normal co-pilot Doughboy, and joining us is Adam from Zed Racer. Adam, how you doing tonight?
Very well. Nice to be on here. Thank you for having us on.
I'm honest to a fault, and the one reason why I really am excited to have you on is, to be quite frank, I just made my account 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. I'm someone that doesn't use it as much, but sits around Twitter every day and sits in Discord every day and hears about people using it. And I've used it. I will say the only thing I've used it is for the monthly profit and loss charts to see where my stable sets up. But I know there's a million other things that we can do with it. And I know Doughboy is kind of in the same boat. So how about we just take the next 20 to 25 minutes and you can kind of just walk through start to finish, legitimately anything that you think someone like me or Doughboy should know if we're going to start using the site, which we both are, or maybe, hidden secrets or tidbits that people who use it all the time may not even know themselves.
Yeah, sure.
So it might be easier for you to share your screen if you have another window, or because I was going to share mine, but ultimately, Zed Racer is cool, Jason. A lot of most pictures that you see, of people posting or videos posting, or people watching through Zed Racer. So yeah, it's definitely a tool that I want to start using more frequently.
Evergreen used it for a little bit when I was on his streams. Doesn't it? It shows you the. Oh, he just cut himself. Wonderful. But it shows you like when your races are scheduled. Like, is that? Am I thinking of the right site here?
My bad. Yeah, no, Evergreen did use it. I caught that
Yeah.
on the way out. Okay, here we go.
Can you see that all right?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Brilliant. Okay. I'll take you through the features then. If we start from the top and just work across there. So first of all, there's the live dashboard. So this is where the website started. And the main purpose behind this one is just to track your races. So this will track all of your races as they come in. So as soon as you enter a race and it gets scheduled, it'll pop up over in here, and it lets you come back through, and it'll queue them up. So if you've got more than one on there, it'll queue them all up. It'll start auto playing, and it'll just basically play through all your races that you need to do. So this is really nice for not having to keep bouncing around tabs and checking if your race has actually been scheduled or what's going on with them all. You can just throw them all into the races and then just watch them all from here. So this is how the website started. It says, as I said, it actually started as just this screen at one point.
And that's how I when I think of Zed Racer, and again, I'm the novice of novices when I come to this. This is the picture that I see. People sharing, them watching their horses with the stats underneath that you see, with the profit, the total races and stuff. So for me, like you're saying, it started like this. This is the Zed Racer that when I think of you, this is kind of the screen I think of.
Yeah, and basically it's just started to expand from there. So if we just go back to the main menu.
And when that autoplay is, what happens if, like, okay, so this is a very specific question. A 2,400 meter goes off, and then like 30 seconds later, 1,000 meter goes off, and that 1,000 finishes before the 24. When your 24 is done, is it going to then go watch the 1,000, or is it going to hop over to like your next scheduled race?
That's it. Yeah, it'll queue up. So it'll hide the result here. It'll say TBC.
Oh, I like that.
It'll be queued in your scheduled races here. So as soon as your 2,400 is finished, your 1,000 race will just pop up and start playing. So it'll be a replay at that point, but because it'll probably have finished by then. But it won't spoil the result. It'll say TBC there.
And I kind of asked that knowing the answer, sort of, because that's the number one thing that I think I've heard as like what people love about the site. Like the fact that it does hide the results and just goes like one after the other. So it's really that autonomous. Yeah, you have to put your horse in the race, but at that point, like you said, you fill all your races. You can kind of come to this screen. You don't have to worry about the timing. You don't have to worry about Doughboy. How often are me and you like, yo, this race is going off in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
This race is going off in 3 minutes. You hold that tab. I'll hold this tab. We could work with this on a night and just schedule all of the races. We would never have to like worry about switching tabs. This would just run it one after the other.
Easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would honestly be great because it really is just 13 tabs open on each of our screens trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah. And that's the main reason I built it. So pretty much all of the functionality on here has been built to solve a problem that I've experienced playing the game. So one of the more recent features you've added in here lately was the Ancestry. So this is the family tree. This breaks down the pedigree on here and builds up the family tree, and you can view that in full screen as well.
Nice.
So this gives you a nice breakdown of the. I mean, there is a small problem with a bit of the incest that goes on in Zed. I mean, it seems to be quite rampant.
It's fun. I've also seen this screen because a few times, like an ECS being one of them, people have asked me to go onto your site and they're like, I'm trying to sell this horse. If you're by computer, can you take a screenshot of like the Ancestry tab? Because people are using, this very thing you're producing as like a data point to show off their horses. So yeah, this is something that definitely people are using. Yeah,
and it's a really handy feature for when you're breeding, just to have a look at the chance you've got to pull through some good blood. I mean, there's some little icons that we've put on here. So star means, we'll start with the heart. The heart means that its offspring win rate is over 10%. There's also a lightning bolt, but there's none on this one. The lightning bolt means that the horse's win rate is over 15%. And the star means both their win rate and the offspring win rate is above the thresholds. So this is just a good way to look at a glance to see where the stars are in the family tree and what sort of blood you'll be pulling through. We will be expanding on this as well and putting things in like distance preference and VAR very soon.
Yeah, that's nice. I know a lot of people, like, we had a site that gave us the family tree, and when it went away, everyone like lost their mind. And then when breeding 2.0 was a thing, everybody needed the tree back, so now they have it, which is good.
Yeah, I never got to see the original one, so yeah, that's a shame. But hopefully this one lives up to what it was.
It looks a lot cleaner. I think you had to do a lot of clicking for the last one, and a lot of like expanding and moving things around. But this is definitely a lot cleaner.
Yeah, and like Doughboy said, it's like that interesting thing where this isn't solving the problem of something that people are just asking for. Like you said, we had that, so people got used to having that, and then really missed it. Yeah, so when this came back, people were really excited for it.
So when you've got this in full screen as well, you can just click through and view all the family trees. It's a bit of a nicer way to click through and browse them all if you need to.
Yeah, this is fresh. This is a lot. Yeah, like I said, a lot. The last one you had to click on. You click on the mother, and then you click on the parents, and then it expands two more. You expand two more, then you expand two more.
And then you have to drag them around to fill it in.
I have plenty of screenshots from those days. Yeah, but yeah, this is nice. This is very
like
nice.
Adam, the last one started with like one horse, and you would click on that, and then two would pop out, and then you would click on one of the horses, and there two, and then like you would have to like drag them to like fit it to the screen yourself, sort of based on how many you were showing off. So the picture you have is a lot more condensed than on one screen by itself.
That's good stuff. So there's a couple of more features that go along with the horse's profile. So this is one part of it, which is the Ancestry. They've also got their own profile on here as well. So one of the things we've added is the animated horse. There's a 3D horse on there, just to bring that to life a bit. Just catch some people out every now and then. You just think it's a picture, and then every now and then it just turns and looks at you. So this is just the standard breakdown of stats that you see across all different other sites, except there's a few extra bits on here. So we put wins by class, wins by class, and also wins by fee. So for some horses, you'll be able to see how well the kind of entry fees that they've been winning. So some useful data points on there. So that's the full race breakdown, and there's a distance breakdown. So you can come and choose the different distances that the horse has been on there. And you'll see a score rating, a speed rating. So this is using I think it's called a pack delta. So it's looking at the horse's average speed against the horse's speed versus the average speed of the other 11 horses. So that's a useful way to analyze speed. It's not 100% accurate, but it's a good indicator. And then some races of interest. So it shows you like their biggest win that they've ever had based on time, and their biggest cash win that they've had. You can just click this and replay them as well, take it to the Z site. And some recent race results that they've been in.
Can you enter races from this site or not yet?
Well, we did have it on the pro dashboard. I'll show you that at the end. Okay. We did have that on there, but Zed have blocked that since we've added it. So we have to click through to the Zed Run site now. So it's a bit annoying. So the final tab on here is something else that we've added recently, which is the history tab. So this is a breakdown of all of the horses' information in a nice list. This is handy if you're going to be buying a raced horse. You get to see what breeding limits it's hit, whether or not it's in the stud farm, what breed generation it was from, the current class that it's running in, a breakdown of all the class races and where it finishes, so you can kind of see where it's getting its firsts from, which is quite useful, particularly if you've got somebody that's got a really good paid win rate. You want to see what classes he's actually been winning in. It might be like class 5 or something, and now the horse is sitting in class 3 or 2.
The Decay Counter is real nice also, because that's something that's not like, unless you know where to look on Know Your Horse and to count back, like no one really knows. And a lot of people, like, especially now that we had like the 268 tournaments and like the Pacer and Cross, a lot of those breeds are getting like used up, and they're approaching the 9 or the 8 breeds or the 4 breeds, and most people can't see that. But for the players that use this, that's nice that it's right there, like right in front of your face, like on the center of the page.
And if you think big, and I'm someone who's thought about this, that's soon going to be one of the more important stats when it comes to selling, bred horses. How many offspring do they have left to produce? If this thing gets where it's going to go, we all know like the type of value behind, like even if you have used one, that's such a huge difference than like using zero. I really think, a little bit of a tangent, the good racer, never bred horse is going to have such a value in the future. When people can tap onto that again, that decay stat, like Doughboy said, isn't as apparent on sites, as like wins, losses, and other things. But when it comes to the value of a horse going forward, I think it's almost going to be just as important if we all agree it's a breeding game anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And as Doughboy said, the paces and crosses that have been around for the past few cycles are definitely coming close to decay now. There'll be a few people caught out by that. So some of the other bits that we added in here was a quick breakdown of week race days. So this checks races when tournaments are on, like maiden stakes or pity point. We will be adding in the conditional tournaments and paid tournaments soon. So this just tracks how many races they've actually run there. This is not to say that people have been padding stats specifically. There could have been legitimate reasons they were running during pity point. They could have been trying to qualify. They could have been doing third-party tournaments. However, it's important to see what percentage of their firsts they've got on this, because it can be used to boost them, obviously.
I just got my account set up and my stable linked up. Yeah, this is nice. This is real nice.
Yeah, this is like, what is this? Like, how would you describe this site, Adam, in like a sentence? Like, is this, are you trying to be a one-stop shop, or are you trying to be part of like a process when you build something like this?
It's a good question. I think I'm just having fun building things at the moment and just adding things in that are useful.
You're basically just building stuff out that you would find useful for yourself. And if other people find useful, you're just happy to see. That's what's great about this space in general, because that answer is like the majority answer of people in this space, right? Like, obviously there is the people that are in it for other reasons, but it's cool when you're just able to build some stuff. And is that what percentage would you say is just like you having eureka moments versus now is everyone's using this site? People, I'm sure, are reaching out like every day. Like, what's that ratio in terms of an improvement that's coming out? Who's most likely to have come up with that idea, you or someone reaching out to you at this point?
It tends to be me at the moment. I think on the pro dashboard, we've got a lot of feedback from the customers that we need to add in, just some little tweaks and some quality of life changes and things like that on there. But yeah, I mean, for example, this history page was somebody recommended on Twitter, so this one was picked up for that reason. So yeah, it's been a bit of a mix of both, really. Bit of a mix of both.
So if you enter, okay. No, I'm just thinking, if you enter a horse in a race, you really have everything else you kind of need on this site.
You don't really need to go anywhere else. Like,
no.
my computer or my internet just like shut down and reset right before the stream started. So all the races I had pulled up on tabs, I no longer need pulled up on tabs anymore because they're right in front of me. It's crazy. Yeah, this is sick. This is actually insane. I have rivals as well. That's crazy too.
Oh yeah, people were taking pictures of their rivals, and didn't you? I feel so bad if it wasn't you that said this. Didn't you just release this thing for selling? People can sell their horses with the gifts now.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah,
that's so. Dobo, did you see that?
No.
Yo, people are gonna love this.
So I haven't. It's been added to the website this week, but I'll show you. I'll go away. Okay, maybe I can't show you that one on here. I haven't logged into Twitter on there.
Yeah, I could probably bring it up on mine.
Yeah, if you can do.
Oh shit.
Yeah, this is kind of nice.
Dead Racer. .run. That's a shame. Yeah, right here. This is sick.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So that's launching later this week. we'll be adding options to put it up for sale, for rent as well, because rentals will be coming in for breed and for stud. And adding a few more stats in there. That's just a preview one. We'll add number of races, and the price as well needs to be added in there. And I think down the line we'll look at adding things like selecting the track texture and the background texture and things like that to switch them up a bit. Maybe even the horse animation.
This is
keep experimenting.
Yeah, like I said, yeah. So like. Yeah, because this is like another, like I feel like your site is very aesthetically pleasing, and one thing that I think is important in like a market or to show off, you know, certain horses is like to make them look pretty, obviously, and like to be something good to look at. So, have you ever thought about, you know, building out more of, you know, a quote unquote marketplace type looking thing with, you know, an ad like this kind of being the starting launch point for that?
Very likely, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of potential down that road, particularly now with Hawku rewarding third-party sales and things like that. It's something we'll probably push a little bit more. Like for example, that page where you generate the GIF, it'll have a link after Hawku that's got the Z Racer tag on it. So any sales that go through that will contribute to the site. So it's all just helping keep the development going on there.
All right, so pop back on your screen.
So do you want me to show you the pro dashboard?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, of course.
I'll show you that one.
Show us all the secrets on.
Oh god, this looks like Coinbase Pro. Oh, your rival is Ganopti.
Yeah, I've had a bad streak with him lately, but
he's
everyone's
also
rival.
Yeah, he is everybody's rival.
Also one of mine.
So this is the pro dashboard that we've just set up. So this is to help manage the stable. It's got some more options that are on there as well. So I'll give you a real quick overview on this one. We've got a stable manager over here. So you've got all of your horses. You can add distances to them, whether or not they're free or paid racers. You've got your rating and their class. You can also set a target class, so you know if this horse, for example, should be in class 3, but it's upped into class 2. So I know this one needs to be downclassed. You can add them into groups and create groups on here. So, for example, all my keep on winning racers can be in one group. I can also then filter to say keep on winning racers that are just Zabos. And then, for example, say if it was a Zabo only keep on winning tournament, these are my horses that I'll be using in that. So I can create my group, select my active group over here, add them all to that. And if I select my active group now, there's a couple of extra in there because they've already existed. But you can see these horses are all in there. So what I can do now is come over to open races, select that group as active, and that'll filter out all the races for me. So these are only races that my horses are interested in. All the other races are hidden. It's got a little race analysis on here so you can see the strength of the field. This is based on the number of horses that are high win rate. So this is just a nice quick at a glance view of that. So say, for example, we like the look of this 1,000. Well, let's choose a different one. Let's choose this 1,200 meter. We can have a look at that on here. We can view the breakdown of all the horses, like on Stacked Nacks is pretty much similar layout on there. We can have a look at the race analysis on here, so we can see a head-to-head record for all of the horses against my horse.
Shit,
wow.
I was just talking about that last week.
Yeah, you were. You actually were just talking about that very thing.
Jesus.
It's really useful to have a look to see it at a glance. And on here you can see your first versus theirs, first, second, third place finishes, flames, head-to-head, so whether or not you finished above them or they finished below you, and just the number of races that you've had on there. So it's really nice, quick at a glance. So all of this is distance specific as well. So like this horse, for example, has a 10% win rate at this distance, not in any distance anywhere. So it just helps avoid downclassing stats and things like that on there. So you can just see quickly what that's like. You've got your speed on here as well. That's pretty standard. So all your races would fill up in here like normal as scheduled. You've got your finish tab over here, so you can rewatch those. That's my second maiden that was on there today. And again, you can watch that again. You can view the field straight here. And one of the better features that we've got on this is that you can actually put it in full screen. It just makes watching them a hell of a lot better. Then aside from that, it will track all of your
tourneys.
Yeah, so all of your tournaments, or any horse that runs in here, it'll show you all of the positions that it's got, the funnel that it's entered in, whether or not it's qualified. Everything is just there at a glance. And again, you can just change you can filter things out by your group. So if you've ran loads of horses, but you've only got one that's in the tournament, you can just select your tournament there, and it'll hide all the rest of the horses on there.
This is awesome.
That's probably one of the main reasons I built this version of it, was to do all this tournament tracking, because the Z site's awful at it.
This is great.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. No, this is intense. This is very intense.
The head-to-head thing just blew me away. I was literally sitting up here
asking for that.
Yeah, I was literally asking, because when we do the high stakes races, it's nice to see the head-to-heads of everyone in that field.
Yeah,
when they've raced each other, and you can't see that. But now we can. Now it's right there when I want it, which is beautiful.
So we have all the stats tracked here as well of the tournament, so you can see the cut lines for the A and B, what tournaments run in. I'll just blaze through the rest of this quickly. There's a performance report on here, so if you want to see how well your horses have been doing, so if I'll choose all of them and view the group. You can see what's been going on there, so their profit, how many races they've had, positions by class, tournament, fee, and distance, and you get an idea of how well you've been performing from that. And again, you can break that down by your group, or you could just do it by horse. So let's choose a horse that's run recently. You can view the horse's records on there individually as well.
Can you change it to USD?
Yep. That's in the settings over here. So in the settings, you've got
that's the important questions, people.
ETH, GBP, USD, Euro, or Australian dollars.
I'm asking questions about FX rates and such.
One of the other things we've got in here is alerts. So we've got open race alerts and we've got stud alerts. The stud alerts, you can also include their direct descendants. So for example, if I wanted any blood from Ready, Set, Boom, I can pop his name in there. I can tick include direct descendants. So all of his offspring would trigger the alert as well. And you can get notified by email.
That's sick. Like, that's actually and that's only available through like the pro version.
Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah. I'm all right with that. Like, that's
pro.
Yeah, that's pro. Yeah,
that's pro.
This is nice. Like, I was asking.
I'm gonna download my stable to it, like my groups to it. I only race certain horses in my stable, so I don't need my whole stable. Like, I'm gonna make groups of just like Zook's horses, because I race like 5 or 6 just myself. That was like all my 70. So I just need like to focus on those. So that's what this could be good for. Because sometimes the stable itself gets like overwhelming on the Z site.
Definitely. But as soon as you've got over 15 horses, it becomes a pain to use. So dropping them into groups in here. And again, you just got all your groups already good to go then. So when if there's a paid tournament coming up, you can choose your paid horse, and then you can filter it down by distance or whatever they've got on there, or bloodline, or whatever you need.
This is great. This is perfect.
No, this is dope. This is dope. I got to play around with it, and I know Keith was upset that he couldn't come in tonight because he's been wanting to have you on for a while. So I think we're gonna have you on again sometime soon when he's able to pop in, and we can do even some more stuff with this. But Doughboy, you got anything else for our friend Adam?
No, honestly, like, because I was gonna ask about the head-to-head thing, which you already just covered, which is great, and then like, that was perfect. I basically just. I know of this site, like I said, through Evergreen. Evergreen had it linked up on his site when he was streaming, but I never asked him to, like, yo, show me this. But today is what a live tutorial is what I like. Like, explain it to me as you're doing it. Show me. But yeah, this is perfect. This is awesome. I can't wait to use it more, honestly.
Adam, anything else real quick, or did you get the chance to basically cover all the things that you wanted to?
I think that's a good bulk of it. I think the only other thing would be the stable overview, I guess. So if you let's just have a look on here and see how well my stable's doing. But you can have a look at your stable overview, and this will give you a breakdown of the last 30 days.
Which
So
is
show
good.
you win rate. No, not many places. I'm not sure if there's anywhere that does a proper stable view like this all in one go. That's like recent things. So it's got you can view anybody's rivals on here. That's all on their profile. View all of their races broken down by tournament, paid and free. Their profit, obviously, and then all of the horses that they've got on there. And all of the horses are in a nice list as well, so you can see which ones have been more profitable over the past 30 days, and just at a quick glance.
The rival thing is kind of nice too.
It's dope.
That's kind of nice. Keeps the competition fresh.
Yeah, and then the last bit was the stable activity. So if I just find a more active stable, let's have a look at arbitrage.
Oh my god, he's got so many. Sheesh.
Win rate is ridiculous, isn't it?
The profit.
Yeah. And if you scroll down here, you can see the stable activity. So this is again over 30 days. So you can kind of see when Arb falls asleep, which is between 4 a.m. and 12 a.m. GMT. So that's where I do all of my racing. I don't do any stats on racing.
This is actually kind of neat, because you can just get all of the big stables and put them side by side and just see what days are open. You don't have to worry about anything if you want to go that deep into it. But this is neat. This is really neat.
But it's handy when you combine it with your rivals. So if you've been absolutely hammered like Valkyrie Racing here by Arb, I'd probably come on here and have a look when he's asleep and try running them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, this is
awesome. Yeah.
This is sick and incredible. And like I said, when Keith comes back on one Monday, we're definitely gonna have you back on to have another conversation about this, maybe dive deeper into some things. But I think this was a good starting point, and me and Doughboy both got our accounts legit like 10 minutes before we hopped on. So we're definitely gonna use it a bunch before the next time we talk. Sure. But we'll do it again in a few weeks. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds brilliant. Thank you.
I appreciate you staying up late for us tonight, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Adam.
No worries. Thank you very much.
It's nice to officially meet you face to face, my friend.
Yeah, and you.
Have a good night.
Cheers. See ya.
Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, that site is legit fucking sick.
What up, Jigga?
What up, what up, what up? I show up right as you guys are done with Adam, and I was going to tell him it looks sick. I like the fact that might be something we could use, Zook, with us pimping out Mike Ryan's horse, right? We can have nice little little gifts and memes.
Even keeping all the races in line too, like it just stacks all of your races, so you don't need 13 tabs open, which is just perfect.
Yo, absolutely. Are we about to build a KOD VBA team?
I'm kind of hype. I was talking to Sports Bean behind the scenes, yo. He has like analytic, he's like, let me send you this trade deck analytics of when I was trying to send shit to the Knicks to get them to move Melo. I'm like, what? He's like he's an analytics savant. Like what he's gonna be able to do with this team. If you're part of the Knights crew and you're watching here, you know what we do at Footium. You know what we do with all of our other teams, how not only do we love to play the games, but we also love, the fake Twitter accounts, the content, but we love the numbers and we love the analytics. That's in everything the Knights do. So the head of, kind of someone that's helping us out with this, Sports Bean, is someone who has that kind of mind with a game like this. And after we talk to our next guest, you'll see why having an analytical mind is super important.
Yeah, and I'm excited because we got a lot of guys in Discord already saying they're about to hop in. They want to see what our player options are, help us make decisions on who we're going to pick tonight. But I'll tell you, man, we announced it. We already got Sport Bean heading up a committee. Coach Richie said, how am I not going to be involved with basketball? He's jumping in. I think we need to let our guests know that he should let everybody know that we're coming to be the best team in the league. I'm just saying, he should know this. How you doing?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Bring them on.
Without any further ado, no matter what game you're kind of here from, whether you're here from Zed or you're here from VBA, you know who this man is. It is someone that I've never gotten the chance to talk to face, but I'm super excited too. Without any further ado, our friend, Mr. John Lee. How you doing, sir?
What's going on?
What's up, guys? Doing good.
It's
Just
nice
got back from
to,
Italy yesterday, so I'm a little jet-lagged. FYI.
Thanks for being here.
Okay, well,
You know what?
My
It's all right.
fiance just got
You
home
and
from
I-
Africa, so I actually have a PhD right now and how to properly deal with jet-lagged people. So I'm actually the guy for you right now.
Cool. All right. I got my coffee, though, so I'm good.
Perfect.
All right, so we at least know we've got a good 15 minutes of caffeine time with them. Let's get as many questions answered as possible. Like, I got the first one. How did this even come together, man? Like, can we start there? How did the whole VBA idea come to be? And I'd love to know.
Yeah, I'll summarize real quick. Maybe one day we can get some of the co-founders, a couple of the co-founders on here. But yeah, I mean, so Charles is the CEO and
He's a good guy.
co-founder. I actually got a chance to meet him back in October, right when I was starting up at Zed, and he told me about this idea he had to build what the VBA is now, and we've been in contact ever since. And so he partnered up with a guy named John Wu, who's our CTO, and really they've been full steam ahead since then. They got funding really quickly, seed stage funding and advising from people all over games industry, Josai from the NBA, and I believe the COO of So Rares, as well as one of our investors and advisors. So and Riot Games is also represented as well. So we have a really good board of advisors, really making sure we're taking the right strides. And we're building this in a way where it's not really a Web3 game, right? It's not just let's just plaster on blockchain to some competition and try to reinvent the wheel or copy kind of what's been done. We're really trying to apply what we all know from prior products that we've built, and see what we can do, right? Because we all have a lot of passion for basketball, sports. We all have unique experiences playing 2K, like GM mode back in the day, and trying to recreate that and see if we can make a game that's fun first and foremost, and also something that really doesn't require a ton of investment up front. So like you can set up a team from the secondary market for probably less than $50-$60 today. So we're really trying to focus on building a good game and a community that can kind of talk some shit and
Oh, you mean we fit right in? All right.
So
that's how we got here.
You said, okay, so yeah, so I like that. And that's the genesis story. And throughout the story, you said, you had a conversation with Charles and he told you basically about what VBA was going to be and what it is today. What is that? What is the VBA?
Well, the way we describe it is it's a basketball league of the metaverse. So initially, we really wanted to capture what it means to be a GM, right? To own your franchise. And so one analogy I think that kind of applies is actually not even basketball. If you look at soccer, right, a lot of the soccer organizations have multiple teams within their umbrella, right? And so that's one potential future for us where you establish your own organization brand like the Knights, and you might want to have a couple of different teams. Maybe you'll have a feeder team going into your top level team, and potentially, if we're lucky, if we can get there, maybe explore other sports as well. And so that's a little bit of our pie in the sky goal. But as you can see here, like the game sim itself kind of looks a lot like a box score. And so we have a little bit of features coming up where we can maybe spruce this up a little bit, make sure it's easier to digest what's going on. But a lot of the game here is looking at the numbers, figuring out your matchups, and because it's 5-on-5, there's just so much more complexity there, right? When it comes to defense, offense, support roles, right? One of the metagame kind of dominant players today is kind of like your Draymond Green types. I know you guys are all from the East Coast, and so maybe.
No, it's funny because I don't know who said the thread, and I feel rude about that, but I don't know if you read that really cool thread someone put out last night about like the current metas, and like that number one player was the playmaking big. So the Draymond Green, Jokic type that, later on when we try and build our team tonight, that's where I'm going to talk to Jig about wanting to spend most of our soul, because the stats are showing that playmaking big is the current meta. And what I like about that is in real life, it also is the current meta. Like the MVP is Jokic, second MVP is Embiid, and then the glue guy of, the dynasty going on right now is another Hall of Famer in Draymond Green. So the fact that is the meta, is that something that happens by happenstance, or is that something that, the current NBA meta is this, so we're going to be that?
So our approach is to figure out a way where, so internally we have a number of like example meta teams, right? So for example, if you're a fan of the Warriors, you might want to create a shooting dominant team. If you're a fan of, let's say, like the Pistons from like 2002 or 2001, you might want like a really,
what if I'm a fan of the 2022 New York Knicks? What type of team?
I don't know if they'll be one of your meta teams.
Buy all the floor players.
Can I overpay a really decent, point guard? And,
You could do that.
Hey, okay, now I'm feeling attacked, all right? Let's calm down, guys, all right?
I'm a Brunson guy, but come on. What meta would the Knicks be, Jigga?
Garbage can. Prospect said.
I see people in the chat. It looks like some people were talking about playmaking bigs are about to get adjusted slightly, so they aren't as scoring heavy.
Yeah, so kind of going back to like our philosophy, right? So we want to make sure that, I guess, between your team composition and how your players match up against your opponent's players, we want to give everybody we never want to kind of fall into that issue where you have zero options to improve, right? So let's say like you don't have as good players as your opponent. We do want to give you a couple counters so that you can at least kind of close that gap, maybe from an 80-20 to maybe 60-40. So that's what we want to try to strive for. And so if we can get to a place where there's no one real dominant strategy, that'll be ideal for us.
Yeah,
Nice.
and that's similar to what it's like in the NBA, right? As soon as a strategy becomes too dominant, or just sports in general, as soon as a strategy becomes too dominant, it's almost like whatever the minority strategy is, whatever that is, becomes the new meta. Because if you're in the minority and you're the only one doing it, you can probably beat everyone else that's kind of doing a similar thing. And then when everyone tries to match you, you go elsewhere. So that definitely makes sense. My next question to you, which is for the chat, but it's for us selfishly even more, is, okay, we're diehard NBA guys. We get this, because I always feel bad, and I don't want to be lazy when I make comparisons like this, and I'm not ever trying to talk about other games, but we have a Footium team, and when we sit and we watch the game right now, it looks very similar to this in a soccer form. It's a box score. It's a ton of fun. We love it. So, like, we get everything that you're – like, we love this. We get the VBA. Even what you say about building feeder teams, everything that we do at the Knights is not, like, a current thing. It's in the future. Like, what you said, like, we love that. In, like, a year, the thought of, like, having one team and then having a bunch of people in the community that can maybe have their own team that, like, feeds into ours with, like, monthly challenges. That all being said, where the hell did we start? Like, what's the first?
Yeah, that's the question I'm ready for.
Look,
Where?
I just also want to set the scene that we will be buying a team live on stream tonight, and we know you're on the VBA team, and we're not asking for like the alpha or the meta or tell us what to buy and like stuff like this, but just from a general, like, someone hops into the Discord and says, I want to buy a team. Is there a marketplace? Is there a list? Is there like something that I should start? Where do they normally get pointed to? And I'll bring that up.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And like, look, we just launched this alpha probably 5 weeks ago, right? This is week 6, I think, in the season. And so we don't really have like a really dialed in place to go. But to buy players, you go to Magic Eden. And so Magic Eden, we have a collection for our packs and for players. And then in our Discord, we have a number of community members that made some tools that are super helpful. So let me link those to you now.
Yeah, some people linked me a bunch of stuff, so I was kind of looking around. Let me see this one.
John, is there going to be a way to improve your player cards, or are that's what they are when they're minted?
So player progression is something that we're trying to figure out, like how to do it the best, right? So haven't really ruled out that possibility. But for me, when I think about players and I try to tell people about players, I try to explain the players as a consumable asset. They're not really permanent like in some of the other games. They're not meant to be permanent. Like we want there to be some sort of aging or retirement that's kind of looped into the game so that you can move on to improving your team with drafting new players. And so you can see how like the push-pull between investing into a singular player and then investing in a lot of different players, like there's some difference in the way you kind of go about those strategies. And so for sure we want to have something like that in the game, but we just we haven't really made up our minds, I guess, right? Is the best answer for you of how we want to do that.
Fair. I mean, like you said, it's just alpha was just released, so like there's still, I assume we still have a long way to go before we're at the finished product. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure Zook had you come on today because he was afraid if it was left to me to pick them, I was just gonna put the best looking team together and not pay attention overall. Because I looked at some of these guys, I'm like, oh, that dude looks like a stud. So I was just gonna make a good looking team. So again, without giving away any, tips, tricks, or whatever, is there a strategy you've seen amongst the community on the best way people are building these teams?
Let's see. And by the way, I'm going to send you this link.
Nice.
This is from one of our community members, Michael Young. And this is a great app where you can just kind of look up the whole database.
Okay, perfect.
I'll drop that in chat for everyone.
Yeah. We'll drop all the chat. Here's another one that someone sent me. I'll drop this in chat. Without dropping any alpha here, when we're done here at around 9:30, MJ Gaming is doing a VBA stream as well at 9:30, and I would definitely tune into that if you're looking for some tools that really encapsulate, how much things are going for, what the value is, and again. That one's at 9:30. I may or may not be using that on my other tab right now and not showing off when we buy these players. But yeah, if you guys know MJ, he's the god of, analytics. Still waiting for him to buy his first night. So then he can come on and start doing some stuff officially for us. But yeah, I'm tuned into that at 9:30. And yeah, just to the question you asked, John, and I saw he stopped before he started to answer. I asked that same question to a bunch of people today, Jigga. And you know what? There is a meta, and there's always a meta, but we see it. You can win going against the meta if you still fill out a team in like the proper way. So it really is always going to be that inexact science of even if we followed the meta, who knows just if those 5 players that we got that just because they say they're a playmaking big, maybe they're not like, that good of a playmaking big. Right. So it's really going to be up to us. And this is why almost like the meta is great, but, we're building this team for our community and we're building this team, for the night. So, we know the positions. And one thing that's great is it tells you what the type of metas are. So there's a defensive guard, there's a scoring guard, there's a pure shooter, there's a pure passer. So, just starting at the top, Jigga, when it comes to that position specifically, and I'll ask you guys in the chat as well, because this is a community thing, when you're thinking point guard and you're thinking Knights team, give me NBA comparison, and we'll then break down the archetype.
I like it.
By the way, there's 15 of these play styles. So that was that was kind of our middle ground approach of not without exposing all the attributes outright. You can get an idea of like what that player's play style is, what they're probably good at. And so over time, you'll get more familiar with these 15. And loosely speaking, we have 15 so that each position kind of has 3. It's not exactly perfect because there's combo players. And then there's also the rarity. So there's 5 levels of rarity. And underdog's the lowest, then goes special, rare, elite, then legendary. And so on top of that, one of the things to keep in mind, our player packs have 7 players in them. But before launch, we had a pack opening experience where you can open packs, you can extract players one by one from them. And so that led to this a little bit of a marketplace confusion where you have to really make sure how many players are remaining if you want to buy a player pack, right? Because at this point today, there's some packs on the marketplace that don't have players left in them. So that's obviously not ideal. So we're trying to figure out a way to get rid of and burn all those empty packs, maybe give some utility back in exchange to the players there. But generally speaking, just like with other games, you should double check, hey, has this player been played yet? You know, are there game stats you can look at to figure out like how good they are? You may even want to look at like how was that player played, right? Like what was their kind of natural game matchup? Are their stats bad because they were like managed poorly, right? Things like that. So generally speaking, all of the visual attributes don't really change the game. It's really the hidden attributes that you need to pay attention to.
Nice. And when building this team tonight, does it play a role, the chemistry based on their different play styles? Is that obviously a piece as well?
Yeah. So you can't just have like 5 just offensive players that all want to shoot. There's this concept of like certain types of players want to shoot and certain don't. And you know that you can imagine that can lead to situations where you might have players you don't want shooting. And so there is this balance you have to find. And so what we've seen is you might have a team that maybe don't have enough assists. You might just want to insert one extra player that's more of a playmaking style, and that'll kind of unlock a lot of extra offense for your team.
That's super cool you said that because it's funny. Me and Jigga had this exact conversation before we went live. I was asking a bunch of people in the community, like, what are some tips? And people said, take your budget and just buy a starting lineup. See how that team works, kind of like you're saying, like see what you need, and then fill out the bench after that. Like maybe not buy all the pieces and see how they work. It's actually much better if you kind of see what you need on that bench after you kind of, because we're looking at stats and we're looking at all these things, but we don't know how they are and stuff like that. And I saw Danny Bananas. I just wanted to, Danny, don't do anything without talking to me. I'll walk you through Phantom and Solana so you do it right.
That's refreshing.
But yeah, it's on that. So Jigga, I think I have the first player I want us to get.
All right. Hold on. What position are we talking about here? Well, we still got John. We're gonna, not saying he needs to give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, but if he wants to do a random cough, if your choice is horrible, feel free. What do you
look
think?
at this?
That's it though. Where do you start with? What's your target?
This is a power forward, underdog playmaking big. What I know is, John, there's a salary cap, correct? So underdog is cheap, so we can fill it with more elite players. This is a power forward, Jigga, that averages 7 points, 12 rebounds, and 15 assists.
All right, but hold on. You just opened up a whole other floodgate here. So in the league as well, we have salary cap, right? So obviously we need to pay attention to that as well.
Yes, and you have 18,000, right, John? 18K in your starting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And Jigga, write this down. A legendary is 6, an elite is 5, a rare is 4.
Legendary 6,
elite 5, rare 4, special 3, underdog 2. So the value in underdog, if it's a good one, is it only takes 2 of the 18. That's correct, John?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, now that you laid it out, Zook, come on, you know me better. That's why you didn't tell me any of this before the stream, because I'm like, great, let's literally build the Bad News Bears. Give me every underdog with some decent chemistry, and let's be that team. I'm glad that the community in the chat gets to help pick this team, because I promise you we'd be way under salary cap if we go my route. All
so
right,
people are telling me to start with center.
So in the Discord, we're looking at, some people have said point guard, some have said shooting guard, and then now in the chat, it looks like point guard has the lead here.
Okay. So point guard has the lead.
What? Let's look at some point guards while we got John here still for a little bit. And let's buy our point guard, a.k.a. Jalen Brunson, of the Knights of Degen basketball team.
Okay. So I'll give this to the chat. What type of art do you want? A defensive guard, a pass first guard, a pure shooter, a scoring guard, a shooting playmaker, or a slasher? So basically you want a scorer, shooter, or passer, chat.
We got one vote so far for a pass first.
This is Magic Eden, correct?
Yes, sir.
Or is this
what I will say is the stats show that a shooting / scoring point guard, I'm pretty sure, is the current meta. We'll go whatever the chat says.
I feel like ball movement
on Twitter.
When building a team, like, this is just me. I was never like diehard basketball, but like I feel like ball movement is a huge component of having a successful and winning basketball team. Obviously, I could be wrong because I don't pay attention, but like that's one thing I was looking at on here. Some of the stats is like passing.
I figure your point guard should be our passing guy, right?
I would be looking for a high pass.
I'm going to do these two to everyone in the chat. I want you guys to look at this. This is 6'4", 8'5". This is a point guard. 8 points, 17 assists. That one is going for 3.4 soul, and it's a special. But then for half the price, we can get 1067, this underdog, 12 points and 10 assists. So a little bit more of a scorer and an underdog. So it would only take up 2K and not 3K. What say everybody about those two?
I wish we could have like stream. Well, I guess we could. We could have like the stream bot put like a poll in the chat, but we're not ready for that yet.
So the two ones are: do we want a special guy that passes the rock better, or an underdog that still gets 10 assists, gets 15 points, and is half the price? 7 extra assists on so. Yeah, the other guy I think is 6 and 17 versus 12 and 10. So the points that they get, I think, are pretty similar.
Defensive stats.
Defense.
Do either of them have defensive stats on them?
Let me look at my secret thing.
To me, the field goal percentages aren't too great. So that's one thing that people look at, like how efficient are your players.
Don't really want Shaqs out there, shooting.
Yeah, I mean,
goals.
This one's a tough one. Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, maybe. So if players in the future are able to improve their stats, maybe going with the underdog player is the play.
Hear me out on this one. This is a special scoring guard.
Is that the
underdog? Oh, no, it only has 2 assists. Never mind.
All
right. So I think we should go with the 1.7 underdog that averages 12 points and 10 assists.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's not terrible.
What are your thoughts on going with unplayed players?
What are your thoughts about going with unplayed players?
I mean, it just depends, like, how much of a gamble you want to take, right? Because there could be undiscovered talent out there.
All right, you know
This
what?
is the
That's
Knights of
actually
Degen. That
I
That's
think
actually
we're
a
going
great
to take some of
question.
our budget and definitely get at least one pack, John, because we are the Knights of Degen. So I think at some point we're probably going to have to rip a pack. But I think
That'd
people
be
are saying the
awesome.
double Jigga for 1.7.
All right. Well, in the chat. So are we asking if we go with an underdog or not?
I think the chat said underdog. They want the double machine.
Doubles are nice.
All right.
And
Just
the
to
fact that he's
verify,
underdog is also nice too.
the vote is in the chat. Let's see what people come up with.
Underdog,
I do like-
which is a double, or special, which is 6 points and 17 assists. So he's literally John Stockton.
But I do kind of like John's question on unplayed players. Are we not okay with some unplayed guys?
John,
But
how
what
do
position-
you determine how good those are?
What position do you take the chance at, though? That's the thing. Like, if you're gonna get an unplayed,
Like, is that a pure D-Gen play, John? Like, is it legit? Like, it's
Yeah,
ripping
yeah, sure.
yeah.
I mean, okay, here's like what I would do. And by the way, we are like the team members are playing,
Yeah.
but we're not eligible for rewards. So if you come
Like
across a team with the VBA tag in front of their name, that means you're playing against the and the funny thing is, Charles actually has the best team.
I saw that.
So that's the funniest thing. Wasn't planned at all, not rigged at all. But to me, like if I were to get to make a pretty serious team, I don't know. I guess for me, the players aren't that expensive in my mind, and so the risk to reward is worth, kind of unwrapping some unplayed
D-Gen.
players.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I like the Degen play.
Yeah.
Back
Ripping
to the
packs is
point guard
fun.
situation. Everybody in the chat, the vote is over. They did say go with the underdog. But Zook, we can't do a stream and not have a Degen play. Like, I mean, I feel like it would be so off-brand that I'm against it. So can we pull the Degen play first?
And you want to buy it on?
Oh, you know what you could do?
first?
You could buy a pack, open it, and see what you get.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Yes.
down for that. I'm kind of down.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Everybody in the
that's-
chat.
So,
Everybody in the
that's-
chat, if you agree, just say yes. Everybody
It's-
spam
it's a-
yes. Let us
It's
know
an
that we're
easy
doing
yes.
Yo.
It's an easy yes. Like growing up playing trading card games, like you didn't just buy the cards you needed. You obviously bought packs to see if you could open what you needed first. So
yeah, but the best part, Doughboy, is you know how much time we spent today looking at players all day to
Listen,
make
man.
sure.
the third word in the title, Knights of Degen. Sometimes Degen things happen,
Look,
Sometimes
this answers it right here, Zook.
packs.
You ready? Yes. 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 Yes.
Let's
yes.
rip some fucking
Hell
packs,
yes.
baby.
Ripping boosties is
Let's
fun.
rip some packs.
Just
All
make
right, we're
sure
doing
they
it.
have the players in them, please. Don't get the zero player
Yeah, let's make sure. How do we check that?
Well, Jigga, I'm gonna have to send it to you. Oh fuck.
This is
Yeah.
I'm gonna link.
It's kind of
Magic.
slow right now, huh? Oh, so
This
go to
is,
the player
it's my
pack.
I'm at home and my laptop, Verizon. It's a whole dude to do.
Oh, Verizon's the best.
All right, so Jigga, here's the packs. The thing is, you're gonna have to share your screen because you got the wallet, Jigga. I just sent it to you in private.
It's the first one you sent in chat or the
No,
second
the
one?
bottom one now. Marketplace VBA player pack.
Oh snap! We about to Degen the chin out of this. All right. Let me.
Chat thought we had fun opening steeds on midnight.
Yo, this is gonna be insane.
This is
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
bad.
yo, everyone. This is we put a link to the marketplace for VBA players. Around there is where you can also get the packs. Yo, Coach Richie, we're ripping packs. So it's Coach Richie and Sports Bean. There are two head coaches.
Head coaches. Yep. Sports
Perfect.
Bean and Coach Richie will be the head coaches.
It's gonna be so fun, John. One question I forgot to ask you was: so when we get ins next week and it starts,
Yeah,
there's games every day.
yeah. So it's two
Same
games
time
per
every
day. So our games are played at set times. Last I checked, it was at noon Pacific, so 3:00 Eastern, and I think 9:00 Eastern are the two times.
Okay.
Are there injuries yet, or is that not a thing?
No, there's no injuries.
All right,
Yeah.
perfect. That's nice.
All right. So what did it say? Make sure to check the redemption checker on VBAGame.com if buying a pack.
Yeah, so there's two things to do. When you're looking at the Magic Eden collection, there's a filter for redemptions. So make sure you filter that for 7. And then go to the actual player pack page. So play.vba.com/drop. And in there you can put in the pack address that you want to check. And that'll tell you how many pack players are remaining in that pack.
So I got player. So I got this. I got the floor. I got 7 redemptions. The floor is 28 soul. Wait.
Yeah, so click on 7 to make sure you only see the ones with 7. Whoa, packs are super expensive.
Yeah.
I was just looking at that because I'm trying to remember. I
was like,
let my friend know about.
I was
Midday.
like, yo, wait. It's actually probably more lucrative to just buy 7 players.
Yeah. No boosties today. Sorry, chat.
We sold these
crazy.
at 1.5.
I mean, what's 5? What's 5?
Still buy your own players.
Reverse.
Let's go back to building the team. All right, let's get this underrated double mans.
Yo, I hope someone didn't buy it. Fuck.
Oh my god.
All right,
well, everybody said they want to go with the underdog, so send me that one in chat. Let's get this underdog.
Yeah, 28 per pack is nuts. What was mint? Mint wasn't. I mean,
Mint was 1.5.
People making bad.
Solid.
Yeah, I remember my friend minted.
You just said that.
Yeah, I should have just minted max.
Yeah.
Should have just minted max. I think it was like 3 per player or 3 per person for mint, but.
Yeah, there's a lot of people I know that have packs and are just sitting on packs that haven't ripped them, and I don't think they have any idea.
Then try and finesse them. Buy them a milkshake for it. They don't need to know. Damn, that's kind of nuts. So we're in alpha, and the only thing, do we even get? We just have what we saw for gameplay, correct? Like just box score, no dots on the court or anything like that yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
And this is we're for visuals. I assume we're going to be able to see the full game unravel from start to finish, tip off at some point.
Yeah, we had it up in the beginning. That box score view. That's what we're gonna have for the time being.
Yeah.
And then we're a team of 14, so we're super small.
Yeah.
One day, hopefully we can get a studio to make a 3D version.
I mean, look, if like the game seems, I don't know much
teams
about.
Don't always matter, right, John?
Yeah, they don't always matter. It's on Soul. One thing that I'm familiar with on Soul is photo finish, and like that's it. So
yeah,
I don't know what the top games are on the Soul chain outside of what I see tweeted randomly here and there. But if sports games, we have Footium on the ETH chain, and that's already has a ton going behind it. And as we see more of the, we have I heard there's a hockey game out now, like build your own hockey team and manage that. But like, this is obviously one of the first ones on here. So like, as it gets going, I imagine once it gets out, this is going to be the thing. Like, it's not going to be I'm trying to think of the words. I'm very bad with thinking of smart things to say on the fly.
While you're thinking, I'll come in with this.
Yeah.
The underdog has been secured. We've got our first player. Now we get to name these guys and everything, right?
Yeah, you can name them. You can change your name whenever, but it has to be unique. So
what did you say?
It has to be unique. So if someone's already got that name, you might have to go talk to that person.
I mean, the other team has Vegeta and Vanilla Ice on their team. That's kind of crazy. Yeah,
that's going to be a Knights of Degen Discord. Everybody's going to have an option, and we'll vote the crap out of naming our guys. All right. We got one down, bro. We got ourselves a point guard.
Yo, here he is.
Welcome to the Knights of Dijon.
Yo, he's
So-
kind of badass.
Let me run back and retouch what I was trying to say. So as the game gets bigger, and we saw, mint price on packs was 1.5 soul, and now for a sealed 7-player pack it's 28. Are there plans in the future to do another player drop, or how are we going to obtain players from here? Like, is there going to be a burn where you can burn 2 players to like maybe get another player with better stats or something like that, or is there in the plans to do another pack drop for players in the future?
Honestly, the fact that the floor price is high makes me a little bit nervous because we definitely need to inflate, right? Like, whether that's to raise more money or let more players, enter the ecosystem. So we definitely need to release more players. So I don't really want situations where people buy too many players at a higher price and then we release more players and maybe like the price goes down a little bit. So like I mentioned before, the packs, the way they work today is a little bit problematic, right? In that you could buy an empty pack, which kind of sucks. So I think there's a future where we might sell players one by one, right? So there might be an opportunity on the site directly, potentially, to buy a player. And that might be a random player. And it's just more simple, much more simple that way. And also, like you're kind of getting into, we might explore ways for you to either train players and make them improve through gameplay, or maybe reset their stats, or somehow, like you said, like burn 2 players and kind of get like a fresh one, things like that. Like we've talked about these kind of options endlessly for like the past 3-4 weeks. And so really excited for really like the next month and a half. We have a lot of really cool features coming out that hopefully kind of answer a lot of your questions. But definitely, I just want to set the expectation, right, that the players should be treated as consumable, even though right now we don't have anything in the game that makes them limited use. But yeah, we don't have breeding, right? So there's no breeding in the game.
Yeah, that was the other thing is how main thing is how more players come in. And obviously, whenever I'm a person, if I ask a question and you can't answer it, you can just say no answer, and I'm okay with that, and everyone else should be okay with that, because having members of teams that you obviously can't talk about certain things, and I respect and I appreciate y'all coming on, and I also respect if you can't answer something too. Like that's a-okay with me, because that was one of the things. It's like 28 for a pack that's eye opening. Like that's big. Like because like I said, like I had my friend, I messaged, I was like, yo, this basketball game's coming out. He's like, oh, I'll go mint the pack. And then he's like, yeah, I should have just minted the other 2 and got them. And like now seeing that price, it's like, all right, so there is some steam behind this, because the floor for packs I'm not gonna say shouldn't be, but like 28 soul for a sealed booster is kind of nice. Like that just means like either there's interest or there's snakes out there trying to prey off. You know what I mean? Like
I don't think it's that.
Work.
I don't think it's that.
No, I think it's the hype.
Let me ask you this question, John. This is like a little bit more of a existential, just philosophical question. Like, we all know what's happened with VBA over the past, week, even past, few days, with like, I think so many people have just recently gotten into it over the past week, 2 weeks. Like, it's kind of hit that, turbo point that a lot of games and a lot of projects have hit in the past. What do you guys do now? When you have things in your building and like, hey, what needs to happen, but to build it might take 3 months. But right now you have the people that want more without maybe releasing anything that you can't say, like Doughboy said. Is there talks about, things on how to, keep up the high sentiment that's really going on in this community right now?
Yeah. So actually we have announced a couple of our next plans. And so, I mean, we still consider the current community pretty small, right? So right now we have a little less than 400 registered players. Some of our players have a lot of teams. And so between those 400, there's actually, I think around...
Oh, that's players of the game. Oh, I thought you were saying like play. Oh, that's a lot. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
No, actually, Yeah, so like between VBA players and then users, right? So we have about 400 users
Yeah.
registered with the team and registered in the Discord. I think we have about like 700 VBA teams. So some of the users have multiple teams, and so that's a pretty tight knit kind of smaller community that we just really want to like. One of our goals internally is to just not lose any players, right? Like we don't care too much about gaining players yet. Like we really just want to continue to build. And once we get to the point where we're ready to just turn on the growth levers, and that's when we'll go for 10x growth. But right now, we just really want to build connections and get to know everybody, right? And make sure everyone knows what our plans are, and we're not as tight-lipped about what we want to do. So
I like that.
So definitely happy to share. Even yesterday, we had an AMA. It's not really going to be like a monthly AMA, but John and Charles did an AMA on Twitter yesterday. So I'll send that to you guys.
Yeah, please. Because, and one thing, and this is just, advice like from someone that plays these games now. I think one thing that's important, and I'm not saying it's bad that anyone does it, and you guys might even do it. And if you do, I'm sorry that I'm saying that I don't like it. I hate when like seasons have a lot of time in between. Like even with Footium right now, and I would say it to them, like we're gonna do the playoffs and like it's so hype, and then the game just like stops for like a few weeks. And it happens with some like other games that I love the idea of seasons, but like the two different peak and valley of like going from championship from like to like not playing for 3 weeks is like, especially in this space, I feel like, I don't know, Doughboy, how you feel about that, but I feel like continually like playing, especially a game like this, where during the off season, there may not be that much except for acquiring a few players here or there, having something that you're checking in every day, because people will, is super important.
Well, that's the thing. Like people get hyped about something, they just want more. And then when you just go cold turkey, like you go through withdrawal, and then everyone starts rah, and why isn't the game here? Why isn't this? But like, yeah, I understand how games work, and I understand there's going to be downtimes in between stuff. I accept that, but the average player, they don't understand that and they can't accept it. They just want. So,
I mean, yeah, that's a good problem to have, right?
It is. Yeah. But I like the way you just laid it out. Just build, get everything right first, and then open the floodgates for onboarding. So that way, when we don't have, we go from 500 people to 2,500 people, we're not staying up in the middle of the night trying to fix a bug that we didn't see, and losing half of the people that we just onboarded, because we messed up something. Like, that's what I like to see. Get it right the first time, and then you don't have to deal with like gigantic meltdowns when you get, 10x the number of players you had the week before. Like, I like that. I think that's how things slow and steady wins the race. It's a motto for a reason, and I'm a firm believer. Patience is everything, and doing everything right the first time is everything to me. So that's, for me, hearing that from a team member is refreshing.
I've got 2 questions. I always come with the hard-hitting questions, John. One, is there a player in the game yet with your name?
My name?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Definitely. 100 million%, yes.
Dude, we need to find out. I mean, this might have to be our first pick was with John. John might have to be our point guard. I'm just saying. I mean, let's enshrine this moment, All right.
So Richie brings up a good point, and I got stats. I'm going to do they voted power forward.
Power forward. Let's go.
So I'm going to name these stats. Remember, we have playmakers. Do we want a playmaking power forward that has 7 points, 15 assists, 8 rebounds, or do we want a post-scoring big who scores 23 points and has 11 rebounds? I will say, behind the scenes, I found a really good center when we were chatting, and it was too good to want to pass off, so we bought it. So the center is a playmaking big. So just from my standpoint, I wouldn't also go with a playmaking power forward. I think I'd rather go with a scoring power forward over a playmaking power forward. But if the chat wants to go twin tower big
Listen,
playmakers.
all right, hold
we
on,
can
hold
do
on.
that.
I like
Hold
Twin
on.
Towers. I like
Hold
that.
on. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen a Tim Duncan Robinson kind of collab, and
It
I'm
wasn't
all
bad when I saw
for
it,
it.
you know.
I'm
Yeah.
all for that. All right.
When that was happening, I don't think that was a bad thing to have. Like I think
No.
you know, they didn't win a lot of rings, but like they were very successful with that combination. you know?
Exactly. Chat, do you want to go with Zook's conservative style? Or
No,
do you want to
my-
go with the Twin
your
Tower
style-
action?
Tim
Go big.
Duncan and David Robinson.
Twin Towers. We got one in the chat for Twin Towers. How you doing? Come on,
this
give
is
me
what I'm
another
saying.
one.
Tim don't equate because two guys are the same to get like Tim Duncan and David Robinson were scorers. If we get playmakers, these two centers both score like 5 points. They just have like 20 assists. So yeah, they're the same, and I'm fine to go with that, but they're not like the Tim Duncan, Tim Robinson twin
So we have
towers.
a
They're gonna
double
be like
double.
two Draymond Greeny. They're basically gonna be two Draymond Greens, which I'm fine with, but that's what we got to do. And then we have a passing point guard. We got to score. We got to put the ball in the bucket.
So
Chat, where are we
the
going
word
with this?
Playmaker.
What's the floor prices for the different rarities again?
For the players,
Yeah, because I wonder if it's worth picking up a
I'm looking at the
underdog
centers.
I haven't played yet.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the power forwards, and an underdog is
That's
0.7, an elite is 6, a
Ooh,
rare
hold
is 8.
on. Wait a minute, but how about I do like the we said we were going to take an need a scoring big.
Unwrapped player.
We
can
need to
take
score it big. This guy scores.
All right, well, let's get the score.
Pull him up on screen. But I do like we
Jigga,
said-
I was gonna say that. Let's look at him. Let's look at him in the eyes.
Yeah, and then also I
see.
think we also need to figure out when we're gonna do the untested, unplayed guy. What position are we going with on that? Because we're
So how many?
that happen.
How many points do we have right now out of the 18? We lost 2 from the underdogs, so we're sitting at 16.
And then we got a special, which is 3, I think.
All right, so we're sitting at 13 right now with 3 spots to go. So
2293.
and who are we looking at next? What's that takeaway?
Yo, we need to see this man's right now. Ooh.
Pull him up. Pull him up.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, I mean, he gets brownie points just for the stash. How you doing? Come on. Like, you should have led with that, Zook. He's got a stash. That's it. We would
Yo,
have
his stats are 23 points, 11 rebounds, and on defense he only gives up 17. So he scores 23 and gives up 17. I think that's a no-brainer.
What's his play style?
He's a big man post scorer, and our center is a playmaker. So I think if the other power forward's a playmaker, I think that could be tough. The only thing is for certain, if we have a post big, a pass first center, and point guard, we need shooters on the wings. We need shooters on the wings. We have no shooting right now.
Yeah.
But that's fine. The 2 positions that we have are the 2 positions that we should find shooters.
Then why don't we get the 2 shooters and just take the unplayed wild card for this position and see what
Because they
happens?
said don't do that at I mean, I get if you guys want to do that, I could do that.
I mean, you just nailed that. So like that's what I'm saying. We're at 13. Like I'm trying to think of what we have the 18 points to fill out.
Well, look,
like,
listen to this, Doughboy. If we have the point guard and the center that we have, they're both playmakers. We get this position, who's a post scorer. We get 1 shooter. Then the last position, we can legit open up because we have 2 passers, a shooter, and a post. So I say we get this guy. We get 1 shooter. And then for small forward, we just do the random unplayed. And that
you
can
know
be a
what?
Swiss Army knife.
Actually, I'm
I feel
going
like
to
we need multiple
default.
shooters.
I'm going to default to one of the coaches in the chat. Coach Richie's in the chat. He's going to be heading up the the committee on this. So, Coach Richie, are you sticking with the
we need
hashtag
to-
pick 'em up?
Nah, we
He
need
wants
more
more
shooters.
than 1 shooter. So let me
Yeah,
get
I'm-
off this and let me go to.
I'm in the same boat. We need 2.
I'll go to shooting guard, and I'll go to pure shooter.
All right.
Dude, when the football version of these games come out, it's over.
Okay,
Whoever's
do
working
we
on it.
want? All right, there's an easy answer for this one. It's another underdog. He scores the most points. He has the highest shooting percentage. and he has the most rebounds. There's 5 pure shooters available. Let's see what this guy looks like. 2592. Oh, baby.
It's like a young Anthony Edwards.
Yo, he looks like Luchen's Dort.
All right, break this
my
one
God.
down. All right,
Lieutenant's
he's
Dort.
what position?
This is a shooting guard, a pure shooter. Yo, this game is so sick.
Pull that.
So
shit.
if you get into our Discord, we have a channel called Game Analytics, and some of our community members have been putting up some pretty cool charts in there that break out like the win rates by playstyle. I'd
Okay.
highly recommend taking a look there as well.
I think he's like, stop what you guys are doing.
In the nicest way possible. You might want to go into our Discord. You guys are kind of botching this shit right now, all right?
Yeah, because shooter.
Because
You
currently
know what?
shooting
Where
guards
we go
aren't-
against analytics.
Listen,
We
the
did
numbers
say,
don't.
John, hold on.
Numbers
I
don't
think
know it all.
Give
We
us some
said
pointers.
we're
John.
building the Knicks. We're Tom Thibodeau. I got heart. I got hunches. I got old school mentalities. We're gonna run a triangle. Did you get this guy, Jigga?
All right. Zook is getting off for a second before we build the Knicks. No, I'm all for it. Let's build the Knicks, Zook.
Oh my God.
Did you get that man's?
Which one? We pulling the trigger on.
Yeah, Tyrese Maxey.
Wait, you're making the 2022 Knicks?
Yeah.
Okay.
2022 Knicks are gonna
What
be
are you
nice.
missing?
Well,
Just
we
your
need,
wings, right?
we need a wing.
Throw
We need
back on
RJ
the
Barrett.
got it.
We need RJ
Yeah.
Barrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
need
he could
RJ.
be maybe
No,
your
RJ
your-
Barrett's not bad like that. I'll give you that.
He's not
Rest
bad
of
like
the Knicks.
anything. He's better than any player on your bum ass Philly 76ers.
Bro, I'm a Celtics fan. All right,
Oh,
Man,
even
just because I
worse.
live in Philly doesn't mean I'm a Sixers fan. You know what I'm
Even
saying?
worse.
Even worse.
They suck.
You want me to sit up here and complain about rings and all that other stuff too, like a
Oh my
normal
God.
fan?
All right, I'll be back. I'm gonna purchase this one, and then if you guys want to ask the chat, what are we doing?
Okay,
next?
chat, we
need
got-
RJ.
Okay, so we got small forward coming up. Small forward. I'm going to
So
open
are-
up all archetypes. I'm going to look at just who's the best player overall, and I'll tell people what their archetype is.
Are we going to get an unknown player? Or are we
Yeah,
just
power
gonna-
forward.
All right, I'm down for that. Let's
Yeah.
go. Then it just becomes the best power forward in the game, so that's
Do
not
it.
even bad.
Do the Knicks have a defensive focused player?
Yeah, center, but we kind of
Do the Knicks have a defense?
we're building the Knicks, but also not building the Knicks. Like we should have gotten Mitchell Robinson, but instead we got Draymond.
Because what a lot of players have been doing is they have a defensive specialist, either guard, wing, or big. And then when they're playing against a team that has a really good, one of those players, they'll put him in for that lineup to kind of neutralize.
So
That could be a good part of your strategy.
how do I?
So right now with Alpha, if we get our team set up and going, how many games before that season ends? Like how long are the seasons?
Yeah, so we're calling this season 0 mostly because it's our experimental season. It's not really like a defined, this is our season progression.
Sure.
Essentially, like season 0 is kind of considered like just an alpha. But what's cool is even before, so originally our season 0 was planned for 20 weeks. I think we're still kind of loosely planning for that, but we're actually in a place where we could potentially introduce some major features and overhauls before then. Potentially, we're looking at like the next 1 or 2 months. So over season 0, just kind of think of it like this is when we work with all of our early adopters and try to figure out what works. And so, even for us, there's limited data we can look at. So we consider a lot of the user feedback as one of our primary, ways to figure out like, are we doing the right thing? Is there anything else we should do? We've taken a lot of ideas from GMs as well. So
Could we? And if the answer is no, the answer is no. If a purpose of what we're doing is to, build content around this team and to really have the community. Like what we do at Footium is we have like a huge room of people. Like we come in and watch the game together and it's a ton of fun. And we're going to do that over here. Could we request like to be at that 11 p.m. game like each night for the purpose of like, I just know Jigga
Content.
is probably gonna ask for the same thing when building out just like people watching stuff. Like the 11 p.m. game would work for us more so than a 3 p.m. Eastern Standard, if that was possible. Again, we're not asking for any, extra thing, but if that was a possibility, especially during, the beta period, for, community and getting more eyes on it, we appreciate that.
So, yeah, I mean, the answer is it's possible. So far, we haven't deviated from that schedule, mainly because, actually, this is something that ended up being an extra benefit to having a set schedule. We've had like a lot of bugs over the first few weeks, but what's nice is we had all the bugs at once, and then we had a certain amount of time to fix it before the next set of games went. So that's why we have this real rigid schedule where you can only play at preset schedules, and you can't even register to play till the next week. Right? So it kind of sucks today how after you build a team, you have to wait till Thursday when registration.
Yeah, that's fine.
Monday to play. But one of the major features I mentioned before is right now we're kind of codenaming it arcade mode. And that'll be more like our open lobby system where there will be a lot of different types of contests going on with different rule sets. We might have one type of contest where you can only register underdogs, right, to that contest.
Oh, wow.
Maybe different levels of salary caps. And so obviously with that, we're able to escape from this rigid schedule that we have, and you'll be able to play whatever you want. So at that point, it's actually a lot easier for us to create contests at a certain time, so that at that point maybe we can say, hey, we have like this 11 p.m. contest where you can register. I know you guys do that with other games where you kind of register all together in a specific contest. So
how do I get you played both days. You played both times.
Yeah, right now there's 2 games per day.
Okay. So that answers the question. Okay, perfect. That's fine. That's perfect.
Cool.
That answers the question for us. So I'm thinking, and I don't know if the chat's about this. What if we got 2? What if we ended this by getting 2 unplayed players and went full D-Gen in the starting lineup?
Is there nothing good at one of the single positions?
I'm just kind of like, screw it.
Chat?
Like, why don't we were going to rip packs? Like, we might as well get UU. Like, we might as well get.
Played. For the price we built this team, this is what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to overpay for a pack to build what you need. This is what you do.
How do you sort by never played? Is it seasons?
No. So I think that is where Magic Eden's limited, right? Because all of these are filters on the blockchain for the actual NFT. This is where M. Young's dashboard's a lot better and using the listings page or the listings tool.
That's in the side chat, I think. Yeah, if you go to the side chat, Zook, it's like third message from the top.
M. Young.
Yeah.
One of the things we're working on is pulling in the buy button into our app directly so that you don't have to go out.
So I can just games played. 66. I want to sort the other way.
Verizon is so good. All right, now try it. I think when it stops glowing is when you have to do it.
Min games played. I want a max game.
Yeah, we should. Okay. Yeah, that's something that would be pretty cool. A max game.
If you put 1 in, you might get all the 1s and 0s. Maybe try it.
Well, you want the zeros, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, it says min. You know, I'm just going with it. All right. Well, scroll to the very bottom then to get to the zeros. Ah, shit. They're lost forever.
MJ said he's gonna release a tool.
I know.
Right?
I know.
And he said you can't sort the other way.
Okay.
Maybe not.
If you played, oh wait, I think no. Fuck.
All right. Well.
All right. So this is what we're gonna do to sign off. We bought 3 players. We are gonna buy the other 2 unplayed, and we're just gonna roll the dice at small forward and power forward offline. And tomorrow I'll figure out how to find players that are that have never played before, and we'll get it at small forward and power forward. And then look out in the Discord. We're gonna let everyone start naming our players in the Knights Discord, so we'll have some fun with that. But no, this game's gonna be a lot of fun. This game's gonna be dope. So when we build out the team, John, and say we have our final players by tomorrow, which is Tuesday, then you're saying Thursday is when we register for the following week.
Yeah, Thursday evening registration opens, and you'll have to you want to actually look at, like, have you created a team name or anything?
That would be, I don't know where Jigga went.
Okay.
He's offline for another meeting. Say him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he would have that. So
Okay.
I imagine it's gonna be Knights of Degen.
yeah, that's just gonna be Knights of Degen.
It's just one click really to register. So
Yeah.
we can chat again Thursday maybe. To make sure you're registered.
Okay, yeah. So we'll register on Thursday, and then Sunday or Monday.
Monday's the beginning of each week. So Sundays, your schedules get assigned. So like Sunday evening, you can look at who's in your pot of 8, and then round robin style, you play everybody.
That's so dope.
So Zook, we're signing on. Wait, so when we register, Monday will be the first day we're eligible to see the gameplay.
Yeah. So 3:00 on Monday and 11
p.m.
So
we'll be live at 3 and 11. That's nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be I mean, it's not
nice.
even live. Like, we'll do a Twitter space or like Discord room, and we'll get like all the Knights to watch the basketball team together. It'll be fun. No, all right. So, what I want to do now is I'm gonna raid MJ's stream. He's also doing a VBA stream, so if you're here for that, just go hop over there.
Next Monday, hopefully. More than likely next Monday.
XMX Gaming X.
Yeah.
The other thing that we didn't really talk about is our currency. Do you want to talk about?
I didn't think
a
about
little
that.
bit?
Yeah.
We can end on that. Yeah. I completely forgot about that.
Because I mean, as you play this, you're gonna wonder like why are you playing this, right? Like, what are you trying to earn? And so we have our own in-game currency called dimes. It's not a token or anything yet, but that is how we started our alpha, where every week, at the end of your week, depending on your placement in your group of 8, you get a certain number of dimes that you earn, and we auto spend it for you in a raffle for 100 soul. And so we've been playing around with like different configurations of how to split that. But yeah, we just kind of spin a wheel, and we also have different leagues. So as you play, your team ranking or your team rating is going to change. And if you get to a higher league, the competitive league, then you get more dimes for your placements than you do in like the recreational league, for example. So that's how it is today. But one of the things that we're going to be launching is a way to like bank those dimes and then spend them in other places in the app. So we have kind of like a marketplace type feature coming up where we'll be able to give you things to spend your dimes on, whether that's like players or these actual soul raffles. And so, so that's coming up. as you play, I know that's going to be one of the things that's on your mind. Like, how do you earn in this game? And so that's coming up.
I was sidetracked by just building the team. Like that was the most. I didn't even care about the currency or what we were getting in return, which is
that's how you know it's a good game.
Nice. Yeah, like if I'm not worried about what I'm getting back, that's good for me. Like I'm focused on how the game works, how the game's played, and what we're going to be doing to get things going. Like I didn't even think about the in-game currency at all. But yeah, that's dope. John, appreciate you giving us your time. Honestly, this is great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice hanging out.
On again.
Yeah, you know us, John. Like, I would love if there's any way, maybe we'll do some, community VBA nights. Like, if all the games are at like 3 or 11 p.m., we could like hop on a stream one night at like 11 p.m. Like, by like every other week or something like that, and just let the chat throw in some games, and we could watch some box scores and stuff like that. Maybe look at like, the stats from the past week and see who was good, who was bad. When you name a player, can you change the name?
Yeah.
Okay. Because sometimes I don't think anyone's going to change the name of like the best player in the league. So you're learning. One thing me and Double I like to do is we're going to like learn these players' names and like study them and like know who the top stats guys are. So it would be real weird if one day we came in and they were named totally something different. But nah, like, yeah, we should definitely plan some things going forward with finding out how to watch this. Like what we do with the Footium is like, it's so freaking fun. So that's why, when I saw this, me and Jigga have been talking, all weekend about legit. I think, it's cool because it's one of these interesting games where it's good what it is right now, but it's completely different from what it's going to be in its final form, which is also cool. But like when I play video games with my friends, I don't play. Like when I play 2K, I don't play. We throw a lot of money and we just draft teams and sim. And then if either of us ever plays in like a game 7 against each other, then we'll maybe play. Yeah. But like we're just simming like 50 seasons in a night and trying to win as much money as we can back and forth, signing free agents, doing trades. But like I think a lot of these games that are going the simulation route and like not worrying right away on the 3D are actually getting that benefit of like so many people actually like that style more. Have you caught that from the community so far?
I mean, yeah, even like that's backwards. And also the thing with Web3 is the way you develop your communities backwards, right? So with NBA 2K, well, that's not a free to play game, right? But you start with a wide fan base and try to monetize like 1%, right? But in Web3, it's kind of backwards, where you start with that 1% who's willing to pay some money to get started. And then, of course, the challenge for everybody is how do you scale, right, to the rest. And so it's interesting for sure, like from a product development standpoint, like how do you make a product while you're growing a community, right? And keep them engaged and make sure everyone's having a good time. So I'm loving it. And I think the team's really loving it too. So really excited to see how your team.
Yeah, same. We're going to be in next week. It's, I'm when you spend I'm a die-hard sports fan in real life and like the core sports. So like, it's very interesting for now, like with like Photo Finish and Zed, like I'm not a horse guy. With TRV, like I don't play video games like that. So like I'm falling in love with these NFT games that like I never was involved like in those communities before. And now slowly with things like Footium and this with another hockey game that we're playing, like this shit just now encapsulates like both. It encapsulates like everything that I've learned to love about like the Web 3.0 and NFT space. Plus, I'm just like a diehard NBA fan and a diehard basketball fan. So like, there's always a there's like, I'll say this out loud. There's always the ceiling of like what I can love with a virtual horse, just because of like my love for, horse racing, like my love for like NBA and like NFL and baseball and hockey is like so infinite that if a game quenches my thirst on those ends, like my obsession with it and my love for it is like so high. And I think that, you guys have caught that, and maybe that's why it's caught fire so quick. it's now one of the first, really, really mainstream games now to capture a core sport in the NBA. So I don't think it's, we're not talking out of pocket to say that it's definitely you guys can ride the wave of the popularity of the, NBA, not only, worldwide, which, Web 3.0 is worldwide. So that's also a really, really, cool thing that they work in the same ecosystem together.
Yeah, for sure. And it's awesome to hear you say that the game's cool and seems to have some sort of product market fit, I guess. But we have really, I don't know. I guess when you're in it, you get a little bit nervous that people don't like it. But so far, it seems pretty good. So
no, you don't
really appreciate it.
Like me and my friends do this on the weekends, like still sometimes, like we'll stay in and do this. And like, imagine I can just go to them like, yo, like PS5 is cool, but like, what if you owned your team? Like, and like that, like, would it take a little bit of an adjustment? But like, I play The Sims and we sit there and we watch the box score sometimes. So I get this very much, and anything that brings people together, to watch something together is something that I'm all for. So, like I was saying, I'll reach out after we get our team and we'll put our heads together over the upcoming weeks as this thing takes off, and we'll plan some things together, some watch parties, some fun things that we can do, because the nice thing is I kind of know a lot of people in the community already from other communities that are already my friends. So I think the sky's the limit in terms of content-wise, what we can do with this. So like Doughboy said, we appreciate you hopping on with us, but I don't think this will be the last time we get the chance to talk with you. And I know we dropped the noise in the Knights Discord that we were getting this team today, and a lot of people were hyped. Like Jigga said, we already got a committee. So I think the Knights are going to have a lot of fun with the VBA going forward. So thanks for your time, my friends, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Yeah, sounds good. It's been a long time coming. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to this collab going forward.
Awesome.
Peace.
Same here.
Thanks again.
All right.
I don't know why I removed us.
Yeah,
but that's it. Let's go.
Yeah.
All
the raid already went through. So.
Oh, my raid went through. Perfect.
Perfect. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you Friday night.